Once upon a time, a man named Brendan, his wife Claire, and their daughter Sam went on a fun trip to the beach. They loved spending time together, sharing laughs and making wonderful memories. One day, while at the beach, Sam decided to look for snails. She promised her mom she wouldn't go near the waiter. Claire said it was okay as long as Sam stayed close. But then, a wave came and took Sam's toy, Curious George, away. Trying to get it back, Sam was pulled into the water by the waves. This very sad event left Brendan and Claire heartbroken. Claire tried to heal, but Brendan, who missed his daughter a lot, found it hard to move on. While packing up Sam's things, Brendan found a book called The Berenstain Bears, but remembered it as The Berenstein Bears. That night, they heard a noise in the kitchen. It was Matt, Brendan's brother-in-law, looking for a snack. Brendan shared his confusion about the book's title with Matt, who also remembered it as Berenstein, but the book clearly said Berenstain. Driven by curiosity, Brendan searched the internet and discovered many people also remembered it as Berenstein. He stumbled upon something called the Mandela effect, a theory suggesting we might remember things differently because of parallel universes. The mystery deepened when Brendan noticed a family photo taken at a place they had never visited. Claire said it was in front of the Griffith Observatory, but Brendan was sure they'd never been there. They went to the Pacific Science Center in Seattle instead. Claire was busy and didn't want to talk about it. Brendan talked to Matt about the Mandela effect, believing they were experiencing it. But Matt thought it was just a case of false memory. He has a big idea. What if the world we live in is just one of many worlds, all running side by side like lanes on a giant racetrack? So, he spends lots of time on the internet, where he learns about something called the Mandela effect. This is when a bunch of people remember something one way, but it turns out to be different. Brendan finds out that some scientists doing big experiments might have caused this. They were working with something called the Hadron Collider, which is a huge machine that can smash tiny things together to see what happens. Brendan even talks to a priest named Isaac to see if he can learn more about why the world is the way it is. But even after their talk, Brendan isn't convinced that the answers he's looking for are about God. Claire, Brendan's wife, watches him get more and more wrapped up in his theories. She worries about him. She wants Brendan to let go of the past, to stop thinking about what happened to Sam, their daughter, and start living in the now. But Brendan keeps finding things that don't match up, like the Monopoly Man's missing monocle and Curious George's extra tail, which he's sure are clues to the bigger mystery. Brendan tries to explain to Claire that these little mix-ups might mean Sam's story didn't end the way they think it did. Maybe, in another world, she's okay. Claire gets upset with Brendan. She thinks he's too caught up in his own head, chasing after something that's not real, and it's keeping them stuck. But Brendan can't let it go. He dives even deeper into the idea of parallel universes. He starts to believe that our world might be getting mixed up with other worlds. In these other worlds, things happened a little differently, and maybe, just maybe, Sam is out there, living a different life. This thought gives Brendan hope. Even though Claire doesn't understand, Brendan holds on to the belief that there's more to the world than what we see. He thinks that maybe, somewhere in the vastness of the universe, there's a place where Sam is still laughing, still playing, still part of their family. And that thought, strange and unbelievable as it might be, keeps Brendan searching for answers. And then, he meets a scientist who thinks the same way, a man named Dr. Roland Fuchs. Dr. Roland has a big idea. He thinks our universe might be like a computer game, and sometimes, it gets a little glitchy. When Brendan and Dr. Roland finally get to talk, Dr. Roland shares his findings. He says that our world might be a computer simulation, creating and recreating itself over and over, every second. This could explain the Mandela effect, the strange feeling Brendan has about things being just a bit off. It's like finding a bug in a video game, where things don't work as they're supposed to. Dr. Roland tells Brendan that if they're right, then maybe they can fix these bugs, like a programmer fixing a game. But they can't do it with just any computer. They need something way more powerful. That's when Dr. Roland reveals they have a quantum computer, a super special computer that can do amazing things. Brendan gets an idea. He starts learning everything he can about quantum computers and mixes it with what he knows about making games. He works hard and writes a new kind of computer program, hoping it might fix the glitches. The very next day, something magical happens. Brendan finds his daughter Sam at home as if she never left. At first, he can't believe it. He thinks he's dreaming, but it's real. Sam is there, laughing and playing, just like before. Brendan is over the moon. He thinks he's managed to change the story, to bring Sam back from another version of the world where she was still alive. But then, Brendan notices something is off with Claire, his wife. In this new version of the world, where Sam is okay, Claire seems different. She's stressed, and not herself. Brendan realizes that changing the story, fixing one glitch, might have caused another. In this world where he got what he wished for, something else had to give. He learns something that turns his world upside down. Dr. Roland, the scientist who gave him hope, had passed away 2 months before. This news hits Brendan like a thunderstorm. He starts to think that the changes he made might have caused a supersized Mandela effect, a glitch so big it affected everything. Worried about what he's done, Brendan comes up with a brave plan. He decides to write a new code, a sort of magic spell for the computer world. This spell is meant to reset everything, to make the universe run smoothly again without any mistakes or glitches. But Brendan is scared. What if, instead of fixing everything, his spell breaks the universe for good? Despite his fears, Brendan's love for his family gives him the courage to try. He goes to the place where the quantum computer is kept and starts his spell. The computer begins to react, showing signs that something big is happening. Brendan runs outside and finds that the world is already changing. The cars are gone, and people and buildings start to glitch like a video game that's freezing up. He rushes to see his family, but everything is falling apart. The world turns dark, and he even sees 2 moons crashing into each other. For a moment, everything disappears, leaving Brendan in total darkness. But then, something amazing happens. Brendan's spell works. The world starts to rebuild itself. From the tiniest microbes to the biggest cities, everything is fixed. Even the Mandela effect glitches. It's like hitting the restart button on the universe, and suddenly everything is as it should be. The story takes us back to the beginning, to a sunny day at the beach with Brendan, Claire, and Sam. This time, when Sam goes to find snails, Brendan warns her about the curious George doll. Something is different this time. The doll doesn't have a tail. Brendan watches over Sam, making sure she's safe. And so, our story ends where it began, but with a twist. Brendan has learned that even in a world where you can change the story, some things, like keeping your loved ones safe, are more important than anything. And with that, our movie comes to a close. Thank you for being part of this story. Don't forget to show your support.